Shocks and struts do far more than just give you a comfortable ride. They play a vital role in stability, handling, stopping distance, and most importantly, safety. Surprisingly, however, shocks and struts are one of the most overlooked maintenance items. Why? Well, wear and damage usually happens gradually, and people tend to adjust their driving without realizing they're compensating for the loss in control. But if worn shocks and struts aren't as obvious as a flat tire, a blinking light, or an empty fuel gauge, what are the warning signs you can look for? Hi, I'm Mark, and today in the Gabriel Answerman garage, we're going to take you through our top 10 signs of worn shocks and struts. One of the easiest ways to determine whether you need to replace your shocks or struts is to take a quick glance down at your odometer. For maximum driver safety, performance, and comfort, Gabriel recommends replacing your shocks and struts at 50,000-mile intervals. Routine maintenance and replacement with high-quality Gabriel shocks or struts may also save you money in the long run, as unidentified shock and strut problems can easily lead to more costly suspension issues. Have you ever been in a situation that required you to quickly slam on the brakes? Maybe a driver in front of you stopped short, or something darted in front of your vehicle. Stopping hard and fast with worn shocks or struts forces your vehicle to nosedive. The sudden transfer of weight forward naturally causes the rear of the vehicle to rise and reduces the rear braking performance. The result is poor traction and the perfect conditions for an accident. Many drivers take for granted the importance shocks and struts have on a vehicle's ability to stop safely and effectively. Did you know that driving with worn shocks and struts at a speed of 70 miles per hour can increase your stopping distance by more than 22 feet? Those extra feet could be the difference between a close call and a collision. So don't take chances with your safety. If you notice your vehicle nosediving, get your shocks or struts checked by a certified technician and ask for high-quality Gabriel products if they need replacement. When you drive over a bump or rough surface, it's actually the springs in your car that absorb the impact, not the shock absorber. Your shocks and struts are there to control the bouncing spring and help keep your tires glued to the road. When you hit a bump, your vehicle should rise and fall quickly, then stabilize after one or two rebounds. If you notice that your vehicle is continuing to rock up and down after hitting a bump, or if the suspension routinely bottoms out when going over potholes, it's a sign that you need to have your shocks or struts checked. And if they do need to be replaced, make sure to choose high-quality Gabriel shocks and struts. When you drive past a large truck, does your vehicle rock back and forth? Do strong gusty crosswinds turn driving into a white-knuckle experience? If so, there's a good chance your shocks or struts aren't functioning properly. When shocks and struts lose their damping ability, your vehicle is less stable in windy conditions. This is even more noticeable and dangerous for light trucks, SUVs, or vehicles towing heavy loads. At Gabriel, we believe this is an important sign that you may need to have your shocks or struts checked and replaced. Rock and roll's great on your radio, but not when it comes to your suspension. Much like veering in crosswinds, excessive rocking, body roll, lean, or sway is often caused by shocks or struts that have lost their damping ability over time. This impacts their capacity to smoothly and quickly respond to weight transfer in corners. The result is a loss in driver control, and it's a serious safety issue, one that we recommend you have checked sooner rather than later. You know that feeling. You're driving along on perfectly smooth pavement, hit 60 miles per hour, and your steering wheel starts to shake and vibrate. Must be unbalanced front tires, faulty steering, or a bad alignment, right? That's most likely the case. But if those parts are worn or faulty, they may have affected the condition of your shocks and struts and caused premature wear or damage, which means they may be in need of replacement. If you experience any steering wheel vibration, be sure to have a qualified technician inspect your suspension to identify whether your shocks or struts, as well as other components, need to be replaced. Another indicator that your shocks and struts might be worn or damaged is to check your tires for any uneven or premature tread wear. Premature wear of the tires can be a clear sign of a worn shock or strut, especially if it only occurs on one side. You can also check for cupping or scuffing of the tires. Both of these are caused by the shock or strut's inability to control the suspension, which causes the tire to bounce and wear unevenly while you drive. There are many other factors that can cause premature or uneven tire wear. So if you notice them, Gabriel recommends that you have your vehicle inspected by a professional installer to see whether worn shocks or struts are the cause. If you drive on harsh country roads, periodically check for fluid leaking from your shocks or struts. Ice, snow, grit, and debris can easily scratch or damage the piston rod, allowing grit and dirt to harm the piston seal. When the seal is compromised, fluid can leak and impair the shock or strut's ability to control the vehicle. If your shock or strut is leaking, you'll likely see a thick, solid coat of grime, grit, and dirt built up on the leaked oil. An undamaged shock or strut might have some road dirt, but it won't be as extensive. Remember to occasionally inspect your shocks or struts and look for any discoloration or excessive grime and dirt on the body of the shock or strut. It's a serious safety risk and a sure sign that your shocks or struts may need to be replaced with quality Gabriel products. Another visible sign that your shocks or struts might need to be replaced: dents or cracks in the shock or strut's housing. You or your professional installer can also look for broken and worn mounts or worn bushings. If your shocks or struts are dented or damaged, there's a good chance it's also affecting other suspension parts or causing them to work harder, which may lead to premature wear. These might include the spring seats, which might have rusted out, the upper area of the strut tube, which might have corrosion that rusted through, or accessory brackets attached to the strut. Plus, be sure to check the condition of the boot and bumper. If you see cracks or dents on the shocks or struts, have them replaced immediately with high-quality Gabriel parts. Gabriel also recommends you have a professional installer assess the condition of all other related suspension parts. You can't put a price on your safety or the safety of others. It's one of the key things your installer considers when making a recommendation about the repairs to your vehicle. If your professional installer does raise concerns about the condition of your shocks or struts, and you've noticed any of the other warning signs, it's vital that you have your shocks or struts repaired, replaced, or upgraded with high-quality Gabriel products. Although driving with worn shocks or struts may not be as noticeable as a blown tire or squeaky brakes, it's just as dangerous. You've got a lot riding on the condition of your shocks and struts, so don't take the risk. Remember to keep an eye out for the 10 warning signs and get your shocks and struts checked every 12 months or 12,000 miles. Whether it's stop-and-go traffic on the way to work or grueling off-road conditions on the weekend, when replacement time does come, choose safety and proven durability by choosing high-quality Gabriel shocks and struts. And if you're wondering which is the best choice for you or a customer's vehicle, check out our other helpful Answerman videos or try our easy-to-use Gabriel part search. Just go to Gabriel.com using your computer or smart device. Now that you know what the signs of worn shocks and struts are, you'll have a better idea of when you need to have them replaced. And when that time comes, what you really need to ask yourself is, why would you choose anything other than Gabriel high-quality shocks and struts? But that's another question altogether.
If you have a question for the Gabriel Answerman, call toll-free at 800-999-3903 for answers to some of the most frequently asked questions or to find out more about Gabriel's complete line of products. Visit Gabriel.com.